Season 8, Episode 23. Sounds of Silence.
Oh, darkness, my old friend. I've come to... Oh, sorry. Wrong sounds of silence.
Yes, and also very different tone.
Yeah, no nuclear fallout in this one.
All
A lot of
around
fire,
me
though.
are familiar face. um, so, AJ and Fluttershy, yeah. They get the butt call by the map to the peaks of peril.
But never lie.
Ooh. It's also the very first time that the same pair has been called on a mission twice. And that pair is Applejack and Fluttershy.
Mm-hmm. And, well, I mean, kind of funny if you think about when we do show readings, we each pick off, we have a set number of parts, this person consistently plays this character, this person. The meeting at the beginning, all three of my characters.
Yep.
So if we ever got to this, I'm talking to myself exclusively.
I mean,
we could change things up now that I'm on board, but...
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, we're still, we haven't even gotten to the episode.
We're still on the crystalling or something like that.
Yeah.
We haven't done those in ages. But I always thought that was funny.
Where I'm talking to myself for the entire episode. Because I am Big Mac, I am Spike, and I am Discord.
Yeah, we should continue when the season's over.
If you guys want to recast stuff, I'm totally fine with that.
Oh, we've got too much to review to get back to those. Those are way on down the list.
Yeah.
Our pony blogs take more precedence than that.
Yeah.
And we get an interesting history. Rockhoof, continuity, tells Twilight the tale that, according to legend, it was inhabited by the honest and kind Kieran, but they were replaced by the fiery Nirik. Which, I mean,
fiery,
that
angry, aggressive.
Yes. Well, and if it didn't set up red flags at that second that they're, it's reversed of the other, the names are reversed and that they're probably the same thing, just different forms. If that didn't set up red flags right there, I mean, you're not paying attention.
Well, I mean, go ahead and spoil it for those who haven't seen the episode yet. God.
This is a review of the episode. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing?
Well, some people like to watch reviews first. I don't know.
Yeah, but
it would be a little hard to not talk about that in a talk of the entire plot of the episode. We do that. We're a movie spoiler, but we only do it after the show has come out in America. In America! I had to manicure there for a second.
Kind of a Dalek Kaled situation going on there.
Indeed. And we get this interesting line from Twilight. Flanks don't lie.
It's true.
Thanks, dear, are telling me that you're fat.
Well, that's mean.
Celestia, were you getting into the cake again?
Oh, she's always into the cake. I don't think she much hides that. And it's been out in the full free press forever that she likes cake. And tea. Tea is fairly obvious. That's not as big a deal. But she does love her cake.
I don't blame her. Cake is delicious.
Which one? Carrot, cup, pound, or pumpkin?
I don't know. I think she's more of a vintage chiffon swirl. So she's probably given up that kind of cake by now.
Well, you wonder how she got a Pegasus and a unicorn out of it.
Oh, I've seen that theory. The fact that she visited so soon before they were born.
Though we know now that half alicorns are alicorns. But anyway, so they take the train to the end of the line with a creepy, almost villain-like station master who plays no part from here on out. Is just sort of that happened, and
He's the exposition pony.
not very much. Just like, yes, there's uncharted wilderness here. That's why nobody comes out here. That's about the extent of his exposition. The rest is just for him to look creepy and have an excuse for some fortunate voice actor to chew the snot out of the scenery. I mean, just tatters, you know, lights everywhere. Just chewed it completely up. But I can't complain because I do so love the chewing of scenery. It's to really go just absolutely over the top with it is always a bit of fun.
Yup.
Especially as a villain. Yeah. So at this point, AJ trudges through the uncharted wilderness all the way to the base of the cliffs before she realizes Fluttershy didn't follow her.
So she trudges all the way back.
Finds her helping some squirrels build their nests with flowers.
Very pretty
Which-
flowers.
Which, you know, given her what she did, her personality and her exploits in Dragon Shy with with AJ having to drag her up a mountain.
Quite
Yeah.
literally.
Quite literally. Not this isn't hyperbole in any way. It's quite literally. And
Grabbed her by the tail.
and dragged her. You're a freaking Pegasus. Come on. You could just
Pegasus
fly
with
up
fear
there.
of heights.
No,
there was a
this is
no.
the
There
wing
was no. She
up
couldn't
the
fly up
field.
there because there was a wind or something.
No, her wings
She
got
was
back-
just too scared to extend her wings.
Yeah, her wings seized up.
Okay, but at any rate, yeah, it's just like so. She's 10% done with this situation, and when Fluttershy's like, "No, wait, I talk to squirrels," which in the show is not that's something that can happen.
Yeah,
One character
I
can
tell
just
people that and they put me in a rubber room.
yeah.
That's because it's just more proof that you're nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, oh yeah, there's this passageway right over there. You don't have to go through anything. It takes you right there.
Oh.
And she's just like, oh,
Okay.
that's actually helpful.
And
Yes.
this is the first of many disagreements those two have in this episode. They
Yes.
seem to be a bit argumentative, which is a little odd for Fluttershy.
Well, she's not as passive as she used to be.
That's true.
She's actually had some character growth over the time. I mean, she's not completely assertive yet, as of right now, but she
But she
does.
is
She
also
can if she
dealing
really
with
needs
the more
to.
confrontational Applejack.
Yeah, Applejack has no problems being confrontational, so Fluttershy has to be a little assertive, and she does it occasionally. She does fall back into her more timid and scared
Yeah.
persona, but she gets assertive every once in a while.
When she needs to.
So the Kirin are silent to the two of them. They enter the village and then they just get surrounded. And
All they ever do is nod or shake their head.
yeah, you can
With a
only
completely blank expression.
yeah they can't. They'll only answer yes or no questions. They can't speak. Applejack does the whole, talking loudly and more slowly routine.
Can you understand me?
Yeah. Do you speak
Yes.
Ponish? Or do you understand Ponish? Yeah.
Which I kind of like that they finally named their freaking language. I know it's English, but there's no England there.
Yeah, and it makes sense from the fact that the uh, we found out in Shadow Play, but it may have shown up earlier, but definitely by Shadow Play, that the language that was spoken 1,000 years ago was Old Ponish.
Yeah.
Which makes it
I-
interesting that Star Swirl could immediately communicate with all of them normally, despite being the fact that he's never heard modern Ponish before.
He's super smart.
Yeah,
I think all of them could communicate right away.
yeah. Well, I mean, that was just an example, but yeah, they could all instantly communicate with them, despite the fact that they would have been speaking Old Ponish, and it would have been very funny sounding.
Maybe New Ponish was just starting to become a thing.
Yeah, and Star Swirl was writing his thing in the old language, and or using Old Ponish as a code.
Which, I mean, it totally worked. You had to have at least two that were fluent and one that could read his sloppy horn writing.
Yeah. Anyway, so Applejack tries to get him to speak. Applejack tries sneezing, telling a bad joke, and is still frustrated by their continued silence. At which point they point her into the woods to find a Kieran that talks.
Yeah.
She leaves the scared Fluttershy to try to get something out of the non-speaking ones, while she tries and find the speaking one. Which she does, but the talking Kieran messes with her by refusing to speak for a few seconds and frustrating her all the more until she reveals that, oh wait, yeah, I talk. I'm just messing with you.
Autumn Blaze, everyone.
Yeah.
She's just.
Yeah. She
I
doesn't.
think she's more talkative than Pinkie Pie.
Yeah. She's like Pinkie with a deeper speaking voice. She just won't shut up.
Well,
I mean,
to be
to be fair, she hasn't had anybody to talk to in years, seemingly.
exactly.
So I
Yeah.
understand it, but it's like, okay, I get it. You can speak. Yes, this is yes.
You can stop speaking now.
We're okay. You don't need to tell me everything in 2 seconds.
You're right.
Yeah,
I'll
and
sing
then-
it instead.
She's had a lot of time alone, so it's just like, oh, you think so too? You know, she shows us this beautiful rainbow framed view, and it's like, oh, you think so too? The way the light shimmers off everything, like it all suddenly woke up the moment you saw it, and you realized maybe the water and the mountains, and the forest, and the rainbow and the stars and the sky are all looking back, thinking the same thing. They were part of the everything. That maybe there's just one thing, and we are all it. I was gonna say it's pretty, but yeah.
Yeah.
Applejack's a little more succinct about things. A little less flowery,
Very-
a little more succinct.
Very straight to the point.
Yes. And we get the backstory of the Kirin. So she sings about how the village went quiet. Ugly things were said, and the Kirin blazed into the Neark. They got angry. They couldn't control their anger. The friction burned down the village, so they all went into the stream of silence to cool emotions and surrender their voices. At which point she gets really bored and frustrated because she can't speak. She's got all these words in her head, all these thoughts, and she can't express them. And so she stumbles onto a flower that cures the effects, and drives her entire village nuts until they kick her out because she chose to keep her voice over staying in the village.
You'd be so surprised at how angry emotionless beings can get.
Yes, it's they're the Kieran are they're the silent Vulcans.
Pretty much. I mean, you might as well just say it's Data, because
But
I mean,
Data without his voice box.
yeah, pretty much.
yeah, um, and no emotion chip. And
Well, he didn't have his emotion chip until way
yeah,
later.
yeah, but exclusively saying that he doesn't have it at that point that you would be expecting this. Um, and we get a nice song, because rainbows won't light up the sky unless you let it rain, and candles just won't glow until they're burned. No, you can't give up your laughter 'cause you're scared of a little pain. It's a lesson that my village never learned.
Good song.
Yeah, no matter how hard I schooled them, fear of hurt is still what ruled them. Sometimes you gotta let it rain. Yeah, sometimes you gotta let it rain. So, yes, sacrificing your emotions and destroying speech to avoid confrontation.
Not exactly a very sensible solution.
Yes.
They cut off their nose to spite their face.
It's like, I don't want to get hurt, so I will shut everybody up.
No, they go from one Simon and Garfunkel song to another.
I mean, that's pretty much what Twilight's personality did. To reiterate, basically, I kind of made the connection a while back that Twilight's personality went from the song "I Am a Rock" to "Like a Bridge Over Troubled Water." I listened to a lot of Simon and Garfunkel.
Okay. But during the song, we get references to Citizen Kane, Phantom of the Opera, and Castaway with their inanimate object friends.
Oh, I mean,
I wonder if one of
who
them's
better to
named
talk
Wilson.
to? Probably.
I talk to myself all the time. It's the only intelligent conversation I get half of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky
But
to
you
be
talk
surrounded
to
by intelligent
yourself,
people.
not inanimate object.
Well, sometimes I use inanimate objects as a placeholder.
I'm currently not talking to myself. We got into an argument.
You see, the weird thing about whenever I talk to myself is I talk back.
Me too. I act out stories.
Same. Always.
Anyway. Oh, what was I on? Some
We
idiot
just finished
called
the
me.
song.
I don't know who that was. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, we had just finished the song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And cutting off the nose to spite their face, cutting out all emotions in order to avoid getting hurt.
Yes.
Which is not a very sensible solution.
Yes. They became the Vulcans. We were too violent. We blew up our world, so we embraced logic and no emotions. They just also took a vow of silence as well. So they're Vulcans.
And then Autumn Blaze decided to become a Romulan.
More
much.
human than Romulan.
No,
But,
because
I mean,
Romulans are basically Vulcans who denounced the whole
yeah, but they
emotion
also aren't as...
friendly.
Yeah, they're not quite as friendly usually. Now, that's not saying that all Romulans are exactly the same, but as a culture, they're less friendly and more suspicious.
Yeah.
They take the bigger the smile, the sharper the knife rule from the rules of acquisition very seriously.
Yeah, but it's still a Kieran who decided to go away from the norm.
Yeah, I mean, genetically, yes, I understand what you're getting at. The Romulans are Vulcans that walked away, but she's more human you know. Anyway.
So
Oh yeah, so Applejack runs off to get them to accept Autumn again and possibly find some of the false breath flowers to try and turn them back. And then she gets in an argument with Fluttershy, who says it shouldn't be cured because they might destroy their village. AJ thinks that they should cure them and that the emotionless silence and burning down their village aren't the only options.
and this time their argument keeps escalating, and they get louder and louder and angrier, and then all the Kirans kind of take notice
Pick them up and go to throw them in the
magically
river.
lift them up to take them to this. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go drown you.
Yeah, well, that silence you and emotionless you. Embrace logic, you humans! And,
To which we are met with a furious Autumn Blaze.
yes.
How do I know she's furious? She's literally on fire.
Oh, she's just flaming.
Wait, I just realized something. Twilight is a Kieran.
Because when she gets angry, she has
She turns into
that
Rapid
fire
Dash.
thing.
Yep,
Yeah.
she catches on fire.
Well, that just makes her all the more appealing. It's like, yeah, just make this
he
pony
already
even
thought
better.
He was hot. Now he
Yeah.
just thinks he literally is.
Yeah, I mean, you're just making Best Pony even better.
Anyway,
He's putting best on.
well, Fluttershy says, well, thank you for that wall of fire. But I thought Nyrics were dangerous when they're angry. How do you know you could control your temper? With Autumn, I didn't. I guess anger's like other feelings. It's not about having them. It's what you do with them. And
In this case, righteous fury.
and giving up happiness to keep away anger is no kind of a life. Fluttershy, I never thought of it that way. I can't imagine not being able to talk to my animal friends. Yeah, she's, Fluttershy is the cautious, oh, we have to be nice. There's niceness and there's kindness. And she was trying to be too nice, and it, for fear of being, of destruction and of anger and that sort of thing, she was too nice and forgot to be kind for a second.
But they've also been informed that there are no more Autumn's Breath flowers. Once they can finally convince the Kirans to do so, which took a hilariously frustrating game of charades to do.
Yeah, and for for a second she, it was an interesting thing to do, and they do it a lot. I realize in the show, it's spread out and it happens every once in a while, but like dealing with anger, how to deal with anger, because kids often don't know how to deal with their anger and they just sort of lash out.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we
bad
got
memories of that.
Yeah, we got, she went off for a second, blew off her steam, and then came back when she
Pillar of
was
fire.
fire. Yeah, though if there were any water vapor, or, water near her, it probably got evaporated. But she's, but she went over there, dealt with her anger, and came back when she was calm again. And we've done the where Starlight literally bottles up her anger, and that didn't
As
work either.
Billows out of her horn.
Yeah.
But at any rate, they a passing squirrel lets them know the flowers that Fluttershy helped nest some squirrels with were the proper flowers to reverse the transformation. Fool's breath flowers. It's probably it's trying to say something akin to baby's breath, but I didn't find anything that baby breath flowers that looked like that. but I didn't do an extensive search. They look more like bluebonnets to me, but
I think they were just mostly going for the name.
yeah, going for the name. But it would have been interesting if they'd gone for the name and the look.
Yeah.
But it does. They look a little more like bluebonnets to me. But
All flowers are hideous, so they all look the same to me. It makes
flowers are beautiful. What's wrong with
I like flowers, but I cannot name them on sight unless it's very obvious.
the only flowers I know off site are roses and foxglove.
Would you say foxglove?
Yes,
Okay,
digitalis.
yeah, I know. Yep, a potent poison,
Yeah,
but a medicine if used in the right doses for certain conditions.
heart conditions.
Yes.
Because
And
versatility.
Well,
it
the
actually,
poison's in the
you know,
dose.
yeah, and actually, it's one of the best poisons out there for killing people because it it actually weakens the heart the more you use it. So if you put it in small enough doses, it's undetectable when they die because it just seems like a heart attack.
Yeah, this
Pony
was an
reviews,
interesting
teaching you
development.
new ways to kill people in each episode.
This is
Eh.
a killer episode.
That's right.
But oh yeah, and then we get the assumed leader because she's the biggest one. Rainshine. Autumn Blaze, you have given us a gift. The realization that anger is within us, but it is our choice how we let it out. We would very much like if you came back to live with us. I can't say how much we've missed your beautiful voice.
It really is a beautiful voice.
Yeah, and then butts glow, hoof bump is done, and credits roll.
Flashy flanks. Gotta love those.
Flanks don't
And
lie.
the,
Yeah, it's an interesting episode. You know, you've got to, instead of, shutting off conversation and going emotionless, learn to control your emotions.
which is really hard to do.
Oh yeah.
Let them out gradually and in a healthy manner.
Or at least don't throw things across the room.
And don't burn down your village.
Yeah, that would probably help too.
Bonus to all this, they found their fire powers again, so they'll never be wanting for lighting a fire.
And, if they ever have to go to war, they have a really big advantage.
They
We're
just have to get pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Which, I mean, if somebody's invading you, probably already a thing.
Yeah.
just avoid fire hydrants, though.
I don't think Austria has fire hydrants.
No,
Well,
They have a fire brigade.
depends on where you're at. I figure Ponyville
They
maybe
don't-
not, but Manhattan there might be fire hydrants.
Yeah, Manhattan would probably have fire hydrants. I haven't seen any in Canterlot.
I think they have a fire brigade instead.
Well, being a classy place as Canterlot is, they might disguise their fire hydrants in some
They don't want
way or
like
other.
to pee on it.
I think it would make sense for them to have a fire brigade more, especially with all of the mayors just looking on, just to check out the fire brigade when they're going by. So, a lot of housewives like to do that, apparently.
Well, and the thing is also, it looks like there's a lot of, you've got a castle, so there's
Yeah.
a lot of stonework. Like, the castle wouldn't really have a lot of problems with fires, I would think, because it looks like it's mostly stone.
I'm
So-
surprised that a city built into the side of a mountain has such intricate plumbing.
It's the same thing. There's plenty of. If there wasn't room for putting piping in, there wouldn't be room to put that on because it would immediately break off with the castle's weight on top of it.
Well, I mean, it's literally sticking out of the side of the mountain. None of it is actually part of the surface of the mountain.
Remember, this is a land of magical talking ponies. Logic makes no difference to them.
Yeah, that's another thing. They don't need fire hydrants. They have the weather ponies.
That's true.
You can just
All you need to do is
cloud
just
so
get a
big.
Pegasus to come by and give a cloud a bitch slap.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's fire suppression spells that are easy enough to do.
Create a barrier around the fire to starve it of oxygen.
Yeah, I mean, if the barrier magic, I mean, Shining Armor was, a master of barrier magic, but
Anyone can do a simple barrier.
maybe every unicorn can do a simple barrier wouldn't be very difficult, and just put a barrier over it, starve it of oxygen, and it just goes out.
Yeah.
I could just imagine Pinkie Pie roasting marshmallows over at Kieran.
Of course. I mean, what better use is there for a fire?
I imagine they don't have much problem with grease fires, thinking about it. Because grease fires, well, for those at home, don't try to put out a grease fire with water. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
But if that's how they put out flames, is just, I'm going to just suffocate it with this barrier. It's like, it's out.
Those poor Nerics. That's how you put out a fire, and you can't get them to calm down. Ooh.
Kieran's and Nerex.
You just sort of barrier and kind of herd the Kieran towards something that's not flammable. It's like, there's a big concrete slab over there. Why don't you, a big stone slab over there? Why don't you just stand on that for a bit until you calm down?
Kieran,
if they can be convinced.
Well, that's what the barrier's for. You just sort of push them off with the barrier. You project a barrier, and you just sort of push them.
Or if you don't have a horn, those with wings could probably just blow them over there with the wind.
With a kick.
Yeah. I mean, anybody could just give them a good buck.
Hey,
let's keep it G-rated.
I said buck. That is when they kick with their hind legs. Toilets.
We're just teasing, bruh.
I know.
So buck off.
What the hey was that for?
Because you threatened to steal my Discord.
I didn't threaten to steal Discord.
That was Madrock.
No, he's like, I could do Discord. I'm like,
okay.
no.
Oh, that.
Well, I mean, that's just in case you weren't available for that.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
No.
It doesn't matter how many time zones away. She will find you.
Oh, I know.
She has a special set of skills.
Yes.
Very particular
I have
set
a
of
special
skills.
set of skills that I'm too lazy to use.
Anyway, is there any more thoughts on Sounds of Silence?
I like the Kierans in general. I think they're very pretty, and just I like them.
Yes, though it
I
is.
don't know. I'm kind of iffy about their tails.
Though
Not fluffy enough.
They just look kind of off.
Well, and the other thing is, I was looking at a picture earlier. I was like, it's really freaking hard to tell which ones are male and which ones are female without seeing the eyelashes. If you put eyelashes on, I think most of the models they used, they would look female. You take the eyelashes off, they're apparently male. Because that's generally how this show works. If it's got if the pony has eyelashes, it's a female.
Also, stallions tend to have more of an actual horse-like head shape.
But not the Kieran. The Kieran,
True.
all the models looked basically the same, just recolors.
Yeah.
And some with eyelashes and some without. But they're basically all the same.
Except for the big
Excuse me,
man.
Did you just assume their gender?
Yes.
Maybe they don't have genders.
Yeah.
Maybe they're an agender species.
How would that work?
Maybe.
Hey, maybe they lay eggs. I mean, that's how that's how the Mocklins do it.
No. Oh, so the Kieran are now Mocklin.
Yes, the Kiernans reproduce like Mocklins.
just some of them put on the affectation of of eyelashes.
Yeah. To
I
let
mean-
them know which ones like to lay the eggs.